Welcome back to the show. My name is Ethan, and this is Porfiro, brought to you by WMHD.
You phone school and get Jonny on the line.
Porfiro, finally! What took you so long?
I had work.
On Saturday? Lame.
Yeah.
You will not, of course, be telling him that it's your own fault.
Your boss must be, actually psycho to keep you there on the weekend.
Not really. It's just a question of how much needs to get done. She doesn't actually decide when I work.
Okay, sure. How's magic school going?
Good. Weird. Martin, does a new weird thing every day.
Cool. You must be in good company then.
He laughs like he just said something actually funny. You hear him playing with a slinky. Probably yours.
At least I'm not the one who lost an open jar of mayonnaise in our room until it stank up the whole dorm.
I think I'm better than Jonny, because I didn't lose an open jar of mayonnaise in our room until it stank up the whole dorm.
Shut up, Jonny. I sound nothing like that.
You don't know what you sound like. People sound different outside their heads. You told me that yourself.
Whatever. Do you want to hear what Martin's been teaching me?
Nope.
Okay, whatever. I know you're secretly interested. So yeah, Martin's been going over, all the machines that keep the city up in the sky, and, we know they're still keeping it up, and we know they're doing good at keeping it up. Well, actually, they're not doing good now, but the important thing is that there are machines, not the same machines as before, that tell us about these machines that I'm talking about now.
I heard the word machine, and I think maybe air? And then I think I fell asleep or something.
You give the phone handset a vicious scowl.
Jonny, I'm glaring at you super hard right now. Anyway, so there are machines underneath the city that keep the city in the sky. Nobody really knows how they work anymore.
Oh, that's encouraging.
Okay, well, Carmen sort of knows. It was a research project before the famine or something. But the good thing is we don't really have to know because we have other machines, and they control the big machines under the city. And that's what Martin works on, and what he's been teaching me.
Oh, how lame. Weren't you gonna learn to stop bad guys with your magical powers?
Jonny, my life is not a comic book.
Yeah, well, it definitely should be.
Whatever, Jonny. So, the big machines all control different parts of the city. There are 200 separate units, and they all do their own thing. So Martin's job is making sure they all stick together and don't pull the city apart by going different directions, which is actually super hard, and it gets harder all the time. Apparently the machines break every day. Oh, and they don't always tell you when they're broken. There used to be even more machines that told you about that, but they were all dead even before the famine. Also, a lot of the machines under the city are dead too. So Martin kind of just tries to make do with the ones that are left. He has to jury-rig a lot of stuff.
Wow. Martin has the shittiest job in the world. Poor Martin.
No, Jonny, it's really interesting. Oh, I get to work with seismographs.
Oh, yeah. The horrible, boring earthquake machine that my parents sent me that I totally love.
Yeah, it's the greatest. I look at all the little line thingies they spit out.
You mean graphs?
I didn't know you knew the word graph. It has a PH on the end.
Shut up, Porfiro.
So I look at all the graphs, and they tell me how the different parts of the city are moving, and if they're working together right. Well, they will after Martin teaches me more. Well, actually, it's not usually done by hand anymore because there are just so many problems. But it used to be done by hand, when we were kids.
Wow, I feel so safe and encouraged right now.
It's probably fine. Martin says we can probably stay up in the air for the next few hundred years at least.
We're doomed.
We still have time to figure more stuff out.
We're super doomed.
Well, but if the city does fall, it's highly, highly unlikely to do so in our lifetime.
Oh, that's a relief. I can't wait till we're telling our kids, hey kiddos, you guys are fucked, but at least I'm good.
No, Jonny, like I said, Martin thinks we have hundreds of years. Everybody thinks we have hundreds of years. We talked about this in civics class, remember?
No.
Whatever. The point is, I get to work with seismographs, which are super amazing and really fun, and I don't care that you hate them. Martin actually has a big computer in his house to help. It, like, crunches numbers from the seismographs. I have no idea how it works, but it looks super cool. It takes up, like, a whole room.
Ah, wow. Totally great. Probably the awesomest fucking thing in the whole wide world.
I know you're being sarcastic, but I agree with you anyway.
You went to Mass this morning and had to stop yourself from stealing all the communion wafers. You are so fucking tired of potato starch. You tried to force feed yourself some after Mass, but you just didn't have it in you. Now you're knocking on Martin's door, and starving. But your appetite vanishes when the door opens, because you're blasted with cigarette smoke. Oh, fuck, have you come to the wrong door? Who is this scary rando staring you down? She has hair to her thighs, a cigarette in hand, and an elaborate outfit so diaphanous that it seems almost to be one with the cigarette smoke. She's pretty, in a made-up, adult way that you've always privately considered ugly. And is that a sword hanging from her belt? No. No way.
You must be Porfiro.
Yes, ma'am.
She turns around.
Martin, he's here.
Yes, I'll be right there. 1 moment.
She turns back to you and just looks at you, openly sizing you up. You notice something long and silver in her hand. Oh, it must be a magic wand. Her clothes, you realize, are magician clothes, but way more fancy than Martin's. The sort that magicians like the Carnelian Lady and Oliestra wear in classical paintings. Including the sword. After a minute, Martin appears. Thank God.
Ah, Viridian, thank you for getting the door. Like I mentioned, this is Porfiro, my student. And here are those documents you asked for.
Are these the latest version?
He nods. Then she sweeps away, cigarette smoke and floaty clothes billowing behind her.
Who's that?
That's Viridian. She handles the political side of things for us. You'd be astonished how politically charged our work is. Which locations are top priority to clear for access, which buildings are condemned, that sort of thing. And the other magicians are fairly involved with the power grid, which is also quite political, of course.
And the sword?
It's ceremonial.
Oh, yeah. Johnny's parents have a ceremonial sword. The summer before 4th grade, he tried to pull it off the wall without them. And they nearly killed him.
She's the technical advisor to a lot of major politicians, and she periodically comes by with news for us. She's mostly just waiting for Carmen right now, though, so we can leave.
The sound of Antigone's yelling comes from the department lounge. Ah, what a great way to start your work week. Who's she chewing out this time? It's some guy. Whoa, sounds like he's older than her. You'd never dare to yell at your elders like that. They're at it for a while. Antigone returns looking triumphant, but sags in her seat when she reaches the table.
Who was that?
That was Morrison. He's a particular enemy of mine.
Wow. Is he, like, against science or something?
She runs her hands through her hair, ruining her ponytail.
No, nothing like that. He's a good chemist. He just doesn't have what it takes to be a teacher, which is a pity because he's also a TA.
Oh.
You pick up an exam to start grading it, but Antigone's not done. She tosses her messed up hair.
I had him for Intro to Chemistry of Flavor when I was an undergrad, and he hasn't grown up one bit since. No faith in his students, no patience when they're confused, never explains anything coherently, and then acts like you're the weird one when you need clarification.
She's almost smiling now.
And he's shit help on student projects because he doesn't get context from you before telling you what to do. I think he holds the world record for giving the least helpful, most irrelevant advice.
She breaks into a real smile, a scornful one.
And he's the subject of many sordid rumors. I don't keep up with such things, but whatever they are, I'm sure they're all true. That man would do anything for attention. I've seen him get drunk at department functions. And trust me, even though there's alcohol, you are not supposed to get drunk there.
You do not think of Antigone as shy, even awkward exactly. There's beauty to the way she tries to destroy the things she disapproves of, even if the things don't accommodate themselves to her attempts to destroy them. But today she looks, awkward. She's hugging a volume of poetry and watching her shoes, and standing over you like she wants to say something.
Yeah? Yeah?
Hey, kiddo. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
She bites her lip and makes eye contact.
Are you getting enough to eat, kid? I see you with instant porridge, but you never seem to eat much of it. I know it's hard to choke that stuff down, but it's important, so are you eating? It's okay to say no.
Oh, I am. I eat dinner with Martin a lot. He always gives me a bunch of food.
Good, It's good to know that he looks after you. You know you can get vitamins and stuff from the drugstore. You know that, right?
Of course.
Oh, good. Be good about taking those. Most of the stuff we eat is empty calories at the end of the day. It's really dangerous not to take those.
Yeah. Jonny almost got scurvy once because he gave all of his vitamin C to this seed he found.
She doesn't seem to have expected this. She blinks a lot. You tell yourself not to laugh at her.
Why would he do that? And where did he get a seed?
It wasn't really a seed. Some girl in our class was messing with him. And I think his logic was that the cloud blocked the sun, and the plant needed vitamin C from the sun, because people need the sun to see.
Uh-huh. You have a list of emergency numbers? You know, police and earthquake helpline and stuff? And Hannah from the chemistry department in case you have questions about our policies?
You nod. She cocks her head, all concerned.
And you know how to call maintenance if something breaks, or if...
I'm okay, Antigone.
She looks flustered and folds her arms.
Really, kid?
You try to keep from laughing more, but end up snorting very loudly. She draws herself up, grumpily.
What?
You're just being, bossy, I guess.
I am not being bossy.
Regular Antigone has replaced awkward Antigone.
Even if I am, I'm completely justified. You have no idea how anything works, and you're immensely naive. For all I know, you're about to drop dead in front of me right now, and I'll be left dealing with a child's corpse. Would be my problem, of course. So, excuse me if I find you a little bit concerning.
Oh, you hadn't really thought of it like that.
Sorry?
She sits down and puts a piece of paper in her typewriter.
Don't be sorry, just don't make yourself my problem.
This evening after work, you go check your mail. Antigone had you fill out an employee housing application last week and, yes, a key and an address. As expected, it's super far away from work, but still. You ride a million elevators and climb a million stairs and walk down a million hallways. Then you're putting the key into a keyhole and opening your door. The room beyond is interesting. The carpet, a depressing shade of off-pink, bubbles up unevenly around the baseboards. The wallpaper is striped, which makes it super obvious that it's crooked. The bed is shoved against a peeling part. You wonder how much of the wallpaper would fall off if you move the bed. The only other features of the room are a rotary phone, Rolodex, and alarm clock crammed onto a tiny nightstand. You poke your head into the bathroom. Yikes. Water damage everywhere. And no wonder, the tap drips and the toilet runs. Maybe that's actually a good thing, though. The dark stains on the carpet make it clash way less with the blue of the porcelain. You eyeball the sink. The blue sink, which is visibly peeling away from the wall. Then you turn and from the bathroom doorway survey your new home. You decide that you love it.
Thank you for tuning in. Here come the credits. Written and directed by Joy Stockwell Carpenter. Script editing by Nicholas Carpenter. Beta reading by Rhea Carlson and Alyssa Russell. The audio post-production for this episode was done by Ethan Townsend and Joy Stockwell Carpenter. Narration by Natalie Beatty. This episode featured Randon Tarnoff as Jonny, Eli Fritz as Porfiro, Anastasia Zellner as Viridian and Antigone, and Riley Valier as Martin. That's all for this episode. Come back next time.